imagine for a second that you are walking into a luxury wedding reception.
Right, like a really high-end event.
Exactly.
Mm.
And not just your standard hotel ballroom either. You are stepping inside this grand historic stone castle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you find your seat and you're just sort of taking in the architecture, the heavy masonry, the gorgeous ambient lighting.
It's a very specific, grounded atmosphere.
It is. But then, right as the reception formally begins, those heavy stone walls surrounding you, they suddenly dissolve. They completely disappear. And in their place, you are suddenly sitting right in the middle of a magical, glowing fairy forest.
Which is such a crazy visual shift.
It's wild. You can actually see the digital leaves rustling in the simulated breeze. And then later in the evening, just as the couple steps out onto the floor for their first dance, you look up, and the heavy timber ceiling above you turns into this massive, swirling, high-resolution galaxy.
It creates this completely visceral, jaw-dropping reaction. I mean, it feels like you've been dropped into a massive theme park attraction,
Yes.
or like a virtual reality simulation, but without having to wear a clunky headset. And the craziest part is, this isn't some experimental concept for the distant future.
Right.
This is the new reality for high-end events right now.
Well, welcome to today's deep dive. We are thrilled to have you with us today, exploring what has rapidly become the absolute biggest luxury wedding design trend of 2026.
It's a massive shift.
It really is. We are looking at a fundamental change in the medium of event decor itself. Based on this incredible insights document from Weddizer, we are talking about the meteoric rise of projection mapping.
Yeah, and specifically how it's just completely replacing traditional heavy fabric draping.
Exactly. Because the mission for our deep dive today is to explore not just how this incredible technology actually works. I mean, how do you turn a physical castle into a digital forest without glitches or awkward shadows, right?
Right, the technical side is fascinating.
But also why it's fundamentally altering how weddings are experienced, how they're budgeted, and how they're built from the ground up.
It's completely rewriting the rules of event design.
Okay, let's unpack this, because when I first heard the term projection mapping in a wedding context, my mind immediately went to, those old school noisy slide projectors.
Oh, like the ones from elementary school.
Exactly, just casting a flat, kind of blurry movie onto a white wall. But that is not what Weddizer is talking about here. We are talking about a completely different universe of technology.
Oh, entirely.
Yeah.
We're talking about highly advanced visual technology operating on a massive scale.
Right.
The core concept here involves taking a whole fleet of incredibly powerful high-resolution laser projectors and using them to cast customized animations, complex patterns, and full-motion video directly onto physical three-dimensional surfaces.
And the mapping part, that's the crucial distinction here, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a flat image on a flat screen. The software is actually perfectly fitting the digital image to the three-dimensional geometry of the room itself.
Right. It maps to the ballroom walls, the intricate ceilings, the staging.
Even the entrance tunnels and the ceremony backdrop, right?
Exactly. To really grasp the magnitude of this shift, you kind of have to contrast it with the old standard.
Which was fabric.
Right. For decades, if you wanted to transform a space for a luxury wedding, the absolute go-to method was heavy draping.
Yeah.
You would bring in literally thousands of yards of expensive fabric. Chiffon, velvet, heavy silk, and physically cover the walls from floor to ceiling.
I've always thought of traditional heavy draping as like trying to gift wrap a massive architectural space.
That is a great way to describe it.
Right, you have this huge complex room and you're essentially building a massive static fabric box inside of it just to hide everything you don't want the guests to see.
Yes, exactly.
And it's beautiful, sure, but it's completely static.
Yeah.
Once you spend 3 days hanging all that velvet, you are locked into that exact look for the next 8 hours.
And what's fascinating here is the thematic shift from static decoration to dynamic environment.
Okay, explain that a bit more.
Well, with projection mapping, you aren't just changing a room's color palette with some uplighting and cloth. You are creating entire immersive worlds.
Because the medium is digital.
Right. The possibilities are literally only limited by the imagination of the 3D artists who are designing the files.
So based on the Weddizer doc, you could have like A romantic European garden for the cocktail hour, complete with digital ivy that's physically wrapping around the real pillars of the room.
Yes, precisely.
Then, for dinner, the room shifts into a hyper-realistic underwater ocean scene. And finally, like a tropical beach party for the dancing. It's like having 10 different venues layered on top of one another.
Which is something fabric could never do.
Right. But here is my biggest question. How are they actually achieving this without it looking terrible?
What do you mean?
I mean, if I'm walking to the bar to get a drink and a projector is hitting the wall, doesn't my body cast this massive awkward shadow across the entire digital waterfall?
Oh, the shadow problem. Yeah.
Am I suddenly wearing the fairy forest on my suit jacket?
That is the exact logistical hurdle that separates basic, old-school projection from true projection mapping.
Okay.
To avoid those shadows and create a totally seamless environment, the AV technicians start by using LiDAR technology.
Wait, like laser scanning?
Yes, laser scanning. They use it to build a perfect, millimeter-accurate 3D model of the venue before anything else happens. They map every single archway, every window, every chandelier.
So they know exactly the topography of the room before they even turn a light on.
Precisely. Then, they use a technique called edge blending. They aren't just using one projector for a wall. They might be using 10 or 20 projectors, all hitting the exact same surfaces, but from completely different angles.
Oh, wow.
Think about how your smartphone stitches together a panoramic photo,
Mm-hmm.
blending the edges so you can't see the seams.
Right.
The software does that in real time in 3D with light. Because multiple projectors are illuminating the same patch of wall from overlapping angles, if a guest walks in front of one beam, the other beams instantly fill in the gap.
That is wild.
No shadows, no broken illusions.
So the software is just constantly doing the math to keep the illusion perfect.
Exactly.
But hold on a second. I have to push back on the economics of this.
Okay, let's hear it.
We are talking about LiDAR scanning a building. We're talking about renting 20 massive high-lumen laser projectors and hiring a team of software engineers and AV technicians to run them?
Right.
You cannot tell me that is more cost-efficient than just renting some velvet fabric. I mean, at the end of the day, fabric is just cloth.
I know it seems totally counterintuitive until you look at the hidden costs of physical infrastructure.
The hidden costs.
Yeah. According to the Weddizer Insights, luxury draping installations often become one of the absolute largest decor expenses for a wedding. And it is rarely because of the fabric itself.
Oh, I see. You're paying for the scaffolding.
You're paying for a massive logistical nightmare. Think about the life cycle of traditional draping for a moment. You have to manufacture miles of fabric. Then you require large transportation trucks to move it from a regional warehouse to the venue.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You need massive storage facilities. Once it arrives, you're paying for